Whew. But that being said, that brings us to our closing messages. And if you've been here since the beginning of the session, I told y'all earlier that for the closing messages, I wanted to inject some play in. So we're not going to go back to Oracle. I brought a couple things, and the biggest thing for me, I got called to do this while I was in the shower, honestly, getting ready for today. I know just in reading and tarot spaces and just in general, I feel like a lot of power is given to the cards, and it feels like, oh, the cards, or we're talking to the cards, or we're asking the cards, or we're consulting the cards. And it's like, the cards are just a tool, honestly. What we're actually working with is the energy. What we're working with is the energy, our intention, and our awareness. And it's like, I always tell people, if you've ever got a private reading with me, one of the first things I say in the beginning is like, yo, I can give a reading with anything. You can give a reading with anything, because it's all, what we're working with is the energy. And you can give a reading with energy especially if you're familiar with it. Like, I can give you an energy based on how a dog reacts to you when you walk in, because especially if I know the dog very well, because there's times where dogs are very intuitive as well, and like pregnant women, they won't jump on them because they understand that they're pregnant. And there was a time where this is a whole side story, but there's a time where my knee was all messed up and I was like on crutches, or I was using a cane, like I had stitches, and at one point it was infected. It was real bad. And I went to my best friend's house, who has a dog that I've known since the dog was a baby. And every time I go over there, the dog, which is named True, always jumps on me. Always is very excited to see me. Always jumps on me and gives me the most love with no regard for nothing, just knocking me over and all type of stuff. But the one time I went over there and my knee was messed up, she did not jump on me. She came and greeted me very, very gentle. And it's not even like I was in there like, oh, in pain. Like, I was happy to see her. I was like, hey, True. Like, I was just as excited as I usually am. But she was very, like, gentle. She came up. She was like, like, just really loving. Still gave me affection. Still kind of came close for me to embrace and all that. But there was no jumping. And when I say every single time she jumps on me, whether she's seen me yesterday, 15 minutes ago, she's jumping. And in that moment where it was probably not in my best interest for her to jump on me, she didn't. And it's like, that being said, it's like, I can give you a reading based on how True reacts to you. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm picking up, like, there might be something going on with you. I can do that. And it's like, that's the reality of the situation. So I say all that to say that you can give a reading with anything. So I brought a few different things out here just to kind of play with it a little bit and see what type of closing messages we can get. And I normally use a traditional deck for reading myself. And I ain't lying when I say I just drew our first 3 cards today. 3 hearts, 3 of cups, 3. Wow. No, I believe you. And that's just in line with what we're saying. Like, what we're really working with is the energy. It's not the cards themselves. And it's like, you can pull them and you'll get the same messages. And it's like, because that's the reality of the energy that we're working with. And thank you for sharing that, because I definitely believe you. And yeah, that being said, I brought a few different things. This first thing is probably be the easiest thing to kind of translate into energy reading, because it has like little matches in there, and it's like to spark creativity. So it has a bunch of like little things to do, like if you find yourself like creatively blocked or you don't know what direction to go in. So I'm going to start with these. I'm probably just going to pull 1 or 2 and then go on to the next thing and do 1 or 2 and go on to the next thing, just to get through it. But hey, let's just have some fun. And if the readings don't come out well, then hey, it just wasn't meant to be. But let me shuffle these up a little bit. But yeah, I've seen people give readings with Pokemon cards. I've seen people give readings looking in a bowl of water. Like, I've seen all type of stuff. And it's like, that's the reality of it. As long as you're familiar with the medium, or you're familiar with yourself and your intuition, you can give a reading with anything. But this first one out, it says, do one thing with your hands that you usually use a machine for. And honestly, this just feels like getting back to basics. Pokemon card readings, yeah, there's this reader on YouTube, I can't remember his name right now, but yeah, like he'll pull Pokemon cards and he's like, oh, I got Pikachu, and like it's really dope. It's really, really dope. And it's like really profound to me, because I'm like, yeah, that's the reality of the situation. anything that you're familiar with, like you can definitely give a reading with it. But yeah, this says do one thing with your hands that you usually use a machine for. And this just feels like right now, it just feels like getting back to basics and remembering that at the root of it all, like all this stuff is to help make things more convenient, but it doesn't make things necessarily better, you know? Because the best thing you can do is there's energy that's exchanged through your hand. There's energy that's exchanged through your hands. So it's like, as you're like cooking, for example, like, yes, you can use all these tools to cook, but understand that the further removed you are from what you're using, the less energy of yourself that you're injecting into it. And it's like touching the food is injecting it with your energy and injecting it with your love, and it's allowing the food to, it's an exchange between you and the food that you're cooking, and it allows it to give yourself what you need, and it's picking up the energy from yourself and putting it into it and then going back within yourself, and now you're recycling that energy and it's allowing itself to feed you. And it's like this feels like a reminder of that. And it's like the more you can inject in these things, and the more you can inject yourself. Like I'm also seeing like ChatGPT, and like if you're someone who uses ChatGPT to write up everything, and to the point where it's like your own voice isn't necessarily at the forefront of your messages or your post or whatever you're using it for, it's like the more you can inject into the things that you're working with, the better. And that feels like always an important reminder, because it's like the energy of you leads to everything that you want for yourself. So the more you remove yourself from the things you're engaging with, the less the results will reflect you, the less of a seed of you it will be, and all that. So if you're somebody who want results that are hyper specific for you, that's going to take you injecting more of yourself into it. So that feels like a reminder of that. And yeah, that was really dope. So yeah, I'm definitely going to pull one more, and then we can go on to the next thing that I brought. This one says, introduce some ambient noise, try music, or work outside. And this just feels like, a call to connect with nature. But it also feels like not being too secluded and not feeling like you have to do all your work like away from everything. Like sometimes you don't have to be in complete stone cold silence to do your work. Sometimes injecting some outer energy works, you know, like sometimes, hey, go do some work at that coffee shop. If you're somebody who typically does all your work in the dark in your room, like, hey, go sit outside for a bit. And if you can, like, if that's something you can take on the go. And you never know what type of inspiration's out there. And, you know, the sun falling on you might add to your work. It might help inject some newness into your energy, especially if you're somebody who's been blocked, or you feel like, you know, like you kind of have been making the same things over and over again, or you find yourself going in the same directions you typically go in. Or even if it has nothing to do with work and it's just yourself, it's like, hey, put yourself in new environments, you know, invite some outside energy in, you know, and just connect with different things and allow it to, because like we said, what we're working with is the energy. So if you find yourself in an energy that feels like stagnancy, hey, inject some new energy, allow some other forces to come into play and engage with your energy and to change the results you're getting. And yeah, just place yourself somewhere different. If you feel like your life has kind of just been the same cycle of sameness, hey, go to a party, go to a coffee shop, go to the store, go just walk around your neighborhood and look around. Just place yourself in different places. And I'm also being called to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, that movie. And yeah, the energy's on 10 out here, man. And in that movie, if you've seen it, I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's this element of like, I'm trying to kind of buy time for it to pass. There's this element of like time traveling and timeline selection and time jumping. And it's like, in order to do so, the character had to do very specific things. And it's like very specific things aligned her to different timelines. And it's like that's the reality of the situation. It's like you find yourself doing the same things over and over again, you're going to get those same timelines. So it's like, if you want different, hey, try something different. Do something completely out of the ordinary. Do something you would never do. Go somewhere you would never go, and see how that changes the results you get, how the energy is completely different. And it's like, if you want results you've never gotten, you got to do things you've never done. And that's what this feels like right here, as far as introduce some ambient noise. It's like, hey, go introduce some things into your existence, into your work, into your play that you typically wouldn't, and see how the results you get will be results that you typically wouldn't have gotten. And it's like, that's a great way to shake things up in your reality. But yeah, that was dope. And dang, that kind of makes me want to incorporate these into more readings. But like I said, I feel like I felt like those would have been easy to kind of translate, just because they're like little messages, and there is a bit of randomness to it already. Let's see. The next thing I brought, which is kind of fun, is a yearbook. This is like my 3rd grade yearbook, and I went to a Christian academy, so there's all type of stuff in here. So I don't know, I figured I'd just turn to a couple random pages, see what I'm drawn to, and see if what type of reading I can get from there. But yeah, there's no pre-selected pages or anything. There's no bookmarks. I'm not turning to anywhere that I predetermined to kind of just give you a pre-selected message. But yeah, so don't turn to a random page, or let that noise go by. But yeah, what's in store for this week? What closing messages? This energy is wild, bro. But yeah, what closing messages do we have? Any clarification on anything we talked about? But let's see. Okay. The first thing I'm seeing is junior varsity basketball. And this feels like, well, the first thing I read also is kicking off the season for the junior high and JV teams went better than expected. With of young new talent, the junior high and JV teams both finished the season good records. And I'm also being drawn to number 23 right here. I can't even see if you can see it. Yeah, number 23. And it's how it's kind of blurry. And the fact that it's junior varsity basketball feels like that same culmination energy. How many years young am I? I'm 29. And yeah, it feels like that dang, I lost that whole train of thought, which also feels significant. But yeah, it feels like it being JV feels like that moment right before, it's not varsity, but it's very important as far as getting to varsity. And I feel like that has everything to do with what our reading was. And it feels like, yes, we may not be exactly where we want to be, but where we are right now is very important to getting to the very next, to what's next for us, and connecting to what's unfolding for us, Like, we may feel like, oh man, like this isn't, it's easy to get bored here in this space when you feel like there's so much waiting for you, there's so much unfolding for you. But it's like this space is what makes that next space everything, JV, the way you perform at JV, like, yeah, it's not varsity, it's not as shiny, it's not as awesome, but if you don't perform in JV, you won't even get to that awesome part. And it feels like performing right here, right now, and really learning everything that there is to learn right now, really connecting to everything there is to connect to right now, leads to that very next space and unfolds into everything that you seek for yourself. So it's like, don't allow yourself to be so jaded with your present moment that you miss out on the very magic that is at, I don't want to say disposal because that sounds wasteful, but that is available for you to connect with it. And in your connection to it, understand that it leads to everything else. So yeah, definitely find ways to re-engage with exactly where you are right now, and understand that it leads to everywhere you're going. So it should be loved, it should be valued, and you should be present with it. And don't spend all this beautiful time in a rush to get to somewhere else, because understand that as things unfold, you're going to look back and realize like, hey, I'm also being called to like celebrities and how they always talk about you know, like, damn, they wish they could go to the grocery store, or they miss being able to just go for walks and the most basic things that we take for granted right now. And it's like, don't be in such a rush to get to varsity that you miss out on the magic of JV. You know, JV, the competition is lighter, you know, especially if you're really good. You know, you get to have your way, you get all these minutes, and you get to just have fun out there, and it's not as much pressure. And it's like, if you sit there and rush to get to varsity, it's like, then you get there and it's like, wow, every game matters so much, and every performance is so big, and you know, it's the margin for error is so much small, and the call for perfection is so big, and it's like there's so much more pressure. And it's like, dang, at that point you're like, dang, I should have just enjoyed JV while I was there, got my confidence up, enjoyed the ride, and you know, all these things. And it's like, that's where we are right now. It's like, don't be in a rush to get to that next space. Be where you are right now and allow it to be beautiful, because it is. And yeah, that's definitely a beautiful reminder. Hold on, there's a message right here. But yeah, and yeah, that's a dope read, and I feel like that's very relevant. I'm gonna turn to another page and get one more, and I'm gonna go to the next thing. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, and then boom. Oh wow, this is cute. And I turn to the K4 page, which is, oh man, I'm putting all these people's information out here. Well, I guess it's just their name and their younger self. But it's pre-K. It's a pre-K page. And yeah, the first thing I'm seeing, the K4 class march, sing, and play homemade instruments in the Hats Off to Reading parade. And this just feels like a call to keep things light, man, as far as just allowing play to be so present in our experience right now. It's like march, sing, and play homemade instruments, like Hats Off to Reading parade. Like, that sounds so fun. Like, homemade instruments, like, who even thinks of that? Like, as far as this point, like, when's the last time you made an instrument, if you've ever done it? And it's like, that's the level of play that is so profound and beautiful and so far reaching right now. It's like, yeah, it's easy to feel like, dang, like, I would play an instrument if I could, you know, but I don't have a piano, or I don't have a saxophone, or I don't have all these things. And it's like, hey, you could get some paper and some tape, and you can make all these things. And it's like, that's the same with anything. And it's like, allow yourself to play and understand that leads to so many creative solutions. Because without play, without embracing play, you would never get to that type of solution to your problem. Like, if you wanted to make music, like, think about it. If you're a musician, but you want to kind of use live instrumentation, but you don't know how, you don't have any instruments, and you maybe can't afford an instrument, but you have this recording stuff at home. It's like, hey, you could honestly make an instrument. You can make different things, or you can make household things instruments. But without embracing play, without getting into like a child's mind, you would never reach those conclusions, or you reach those levels of creativity, which are always available to us. So it's like, allow play to be present. It's like, okay, how can I get into a child's mind? How can I get to a child's creative state to address some of these problems for myself? And remember, as a kid, they don't have all those limitations that knowledge bring, you know? They don't know so much to where they're like, okay, that an instrument is this. It's like, okay, like, an instrument is whatever they can think of, you know? This book is now a drum because I allowed it to be a drum. And it's like, it can be some other percussive thing. And it's like water, when you blow on the top of it, it becomes a wind instrument. And it's like, there's so much magic that's available to you if you allow yourself to get into that creative mind space, and to become young, and to become a kid, and allow play to be present. And it's like, that feels like a call right now. And it's like, what problems that have you been struggling to solve that, you know, could use just a little bit of play, that you can just inject some play in a child's naivety into in an approach to solve the problem, or to be creative, or whatever it is. And it's like, there's so much magic available at the point you allow yourself to play. And that's dope. That feels like a very nice reminder. And yeah, shout out to my 3rd grade yearbook for that. And yeah, I'm excited to hear for the week to play out, and for, you know, people to come across these messages at different places and to see how relevant they were, and they were just born of us sitting here playing ourselves. High key, we're everything, and everything is everything. Hey, and I have a song named Everything's Everything. So that's also a full circle moment too. A drum's only a drum because we call it one, period. And that's the reality of the situation. And that's a nice reminder right there. So I'm definitely glad I brought these things, and I'm excited to go to the next thing. I brought this, which is like a scrapbook. So there's like pictures of like, this was for biology class in like 9th grade. And I came across this the other day. So there's like family pictures and old pictures of me and little stuff like that. But it was about just like families and genes and genetics and stuff like that. So I'm going to turn to a random page and see what calls out to me, and go from there. So once again, no predetermined pages or anything. I'm just going to turn to a random page. And the first thing I noticed, I turned to the page that is featured my dad. It's me and my dad, and this is my dad and his siblings and him and his scrubs. And then this is a picture of me and him when I was younger. And yeah, I'm being drawn to my teeth in this picture. And this is pre-braces, pre-all that. So like there's gaps, there's all type of stuff. And this feels like, and I'm being called to understand that, I'm being called to just like understanding that how perfect things are before the shift, you know? It's like I'm looking at my teeth right now, and it's like, yeah, they're imperfect, but there's so much personality in there. And even like when I saw my teeth after the braces and all that, like, yeah, they're nice and perfect, but there's just no character there anymore, you know? They're just nice teeth. But it's like, at this point, my teeth were so uniquely my own. And it's like, understand that, yes, just because things may be better and after the shifts and as things, you know, play out and they're different, that doesn't always mean they're better, because there's no difference. It's like the way they were before was perfect, as in the authenticity of the way they were, you know, and in the character that they had and in the perfection of the imperfection. And that feels like a great reminder. And there's a glare, so I can't tell if y'all can see the picture. But yeah, my teeth. Oh, the picture. But yeah, and it feels like, and it just feels like a nice reminder. It's like every version of you was perfect, and it's just in the fact that it existed. And it's like, yeah, you might be more refined, you might know more, you might have more and all that, but you're no better than the past versions of you that essentially got you to that point anyway, you know? You don't reach any of that better, you don't reach any of that newness, any of what you deem to be more perfect or more aligned without the parts that didn't feel that way, you know? So yeah, that's also a nice reminder too. And it's like, yeah, as these things continue to shift and as things continue to change, and as you know, the things you see for yourself continue to actualize, don't forget where you came from. And also don't look to the past as if you're better than it now, because you're not. And understand that it was on the foundation of all those past versions of you, even the worst versions of you, the versions of you that you hate to think about. It's on the backs of them that you get to sit here and even judge them in that way, that you even have the awareness to be who you now are because of them being exactly who they are. So it's like, as these things continue to shift, understand that, hey, where you are now is perfect, where you're going is perfect, and where you've been is perfect. And you should honor every version of you that played a part in getting you here. So I'm gonna leave it at that, just so this doesn't get too long, because I still have one more thing. But yeah, that was really dope, and I'm really glad I decided to do this, honestly. But the very last thing is an old journal of mine. So I'm gonna go to an entry, and I'm gonna pull this out. So as you can see, there's no bookmark, there's nothing pre-selected. And yeah, I'm gonna go to a random page and see what's there, and this will be our closing message. So I'm setting the intention that whatever entry I find myself on, and even this cover feels significant too. It's like a tree, a really divine tree. And oh wow, I'm sitting under a tree right now. And this tree feels very magical itself. And on the back, I'm seeing it says Heart of the Tree Journal. And it feels like that's where I'm at right now, where we are. We're at the heart. Well, not the heart. Maybe the heart would be like somewhere up here. Hey, maybe it would be right here. But yeah. So I'm going to turn to a random page. And yeah, I'll get our closing message from whatever I find there. And then, yeah, I'll let you guys go and, yeah, get to the integration and get back to the magic and realizing that, yeah, we are the magic, you know. It's not outside of us. We're very much a part of it. And the energy is always around and always ready to work with us at the point we realize that it's available, you know, and allow its space to exist in our reality. So please remember that you are magic and that the call has come from within the house always. So that being said, let's see what the hell comes up. I have no idea. I'm a little nervous even, but yeah. Boom. Okay. Oh, wow. This is beautiful. Okay, so the entry is from April 7th, 2022. So 4/7/22. Time 1:14 p.m. Mood relaxed. Song Space Between by Always Never. So all these things might be significant. You might want to go listen to the song. And that's an interesting song, Space Between. And it feels like that's where we are for sure. Like we're not quite where we've been. We're not quite where we're going. And we're just in that space between. But we're also relaxed in it, you know. And it also feels interesting that this is from April 7th, which is like in the very beginning, the very first month of spring. It feels like that's the energy we're heading into and the momentum we're building towards as well. But yeah, the song is Space Between by Always Never. And the entry itself says, I am ready. I'm ready, period. I'm ready to experience the world on my terms. I'm ready to do everything I want. I'm ready to have everything I need. I'm not accepting anything less anymore. I deserve everything under the sun, and I'm going to make sure I give it to myself. No more trying or being patient. I will, and I crossed out will and put am, becoming by being, plain and simple. I am, all caps. And the card of the moment, because in this journal I was always pulling, at the end of a session I would pull a card. And the card of the moment was 4 of Cups, which came out in our reading today. And if that isn't exactly the energy that we were in, I don't know what is. I'm not accepting anything less anymore. I deserve everything under the sun, and I'm going to make sure I give it to myself. We were literally talking about how we're not separate from all these things, how we can shape our reality with our will. We were talking, even the fact that I wrote I will and I crossed out will and wrote am to make it present. And I erased the separation that I was headed towards in that. It is beautiful dream. Thank you. And I'm so glad I did this, man. Like, this is so perfect, and I couldn't have made this up if I wanted to. And even the fact that I crossed out will and wrote am, like in that moment, I was headed down more separation. Like I will become by being, that makes it outside of myself. And it's like, no, in that moment I realized, I'm like, I am become by being it right now in the present, plain and simple. And then even wrote I am, period. And it's like, that's where we are, and that's where we've been. That's the energy we've been navigating in this reading today. And it's like, that's the perfect closing message and the perfect proof of exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, we can give a reading with anything because what we're working with is the energy. It's not about the cards. It's not about me. It's not about anything other than where we find ourselves. It's not anything other than our will and our intention and our awareness, because that's what's shaping our reality. That's what's shaping our experiences, you know? It's like we were able to get a reading from all these things because that was our intention, to get a reading. And it's like, so that's the results we got. That's how our energy influenced and impacted the tools that we were working with at every given turn as we worked with many different things to give readings or to give a reading today. And it's like, that's the reality of the situation. It's like, we are so powerful, man. We are everything. We're connected to everything. There is no separation. The energy is our own. And it's like, I'm no more special than you are. I'm no more special than anybody. I'm not doing anything you can't do for yourself, you know? You can go and get all these things and work with all these tools and give a reading just the same way. at the point that you understand that and you know that, and you can connect to that energy and connect to yourself and your intuition and all that. And I'll never sit here and try to make it seem like I'm doing anything super profound or anything super magical or out of the ordinary, or like I was placed here with a super special gift. And it's like, yes, I have all these special gifts, but at the end of the day, the only difference is my knowledge and my connection to it all, and the way I hold space for all this magic and all these energies to play out in my experience and through me, and the way that I accept my role as a vessel of divine energy, the way I step and walk in my place as God embodied, as the universe embodied. And when I say you are God, I am God, that is by no means saying anything other than the fact that there is no separation, that we are all everything. And that at the point that we allow ourselves to be embodied and we move in our authenticity and show up through that connection to it all, that there is no separation, that we truly are God, we truly are the universe in those moments. That's it, period. And it's like, in knowing that we have the responsibility to each other, to ourselves, to those who don't know that they're God yet, and everything, to hold the space and to hold the frequency and to continue to show up as that, and to show up as God does, you know. If you subscribe to Christianity, you know, what does God do? God is a creator. God is a father, they say. God protects. God nurtures. God does all these things. It's like you have that very same responsibility, especially to those who don't understand their connection yet, especially to those who are still looking outside of themselves for answers and everything. It's like you owe it to them, and you owe it to yourself to show up in love. You owe it to yourself to be an example, to lead in truth, and to not allow illusions to push you this way or that way, and to understand that you are a vessel of the very energies that created this world. If you follow everything to its smallest level, to its deepest level, it's all the same thing. We're all made of the same things: the trees, the grass, me, the iguanas, everything. It's all light. It all comes down to atoms. It all, beyond that, comes down to light, and just light at different frequencies, vibrating differently, and everything. And hold on, I'm trying to have faith. I just lost some of it when my girlfriend died 2 years ago. It's hard not to be angry, and that's valid. And yeah, it's not even about trying not to be angry. If you're angry, it's okay, you know. Allow yourself to be angry, because yeah, showing up authentically is the best thing you can do. And in that, my biggest thing as far as that goes is just to not take it out on everybody, you know, because it's not anything anybody else did. But also don't feel like it's not valid to feel that way. The best thing you can do, I feel like, is to own that anger, you know, and do something with it, you know, even if it's creating or writing or expressing it somehow. Allowing the energy to move through you. But yeah, that's valid. You don't have to force yourself to feel any other way. Like, I can only imagine if my loved one died like that, especially a girlfriend, especially if it's someone who's super aligned and like truly your person and everything and all that. Like, yeah, that would make me angry. That would make me sad. That would make me all type of things. And yeah, I would say definitely don't lose faith. And also don't feel like you're wrong for feeling that way, because by trying to feel anything other than that, you're only continuing to perpetuate that, because that's how you feel and that's what's living inside your body. So yeah, I would say, hey, be angry, own it. And yeah, don't force yourself to move on, don't force yourself to do anything, but also feel it with the intention at some point to, you know, to alchemize the energy, to move forward and do something with it, because you're still here, you know. And the best thing you can do is honor her. And I'm sure she wouldn't want you to spend the rest of your life angry and, you know, alone and pushing people away or anything like that. She would want you to live a very beautiful and fruitful life. And the best thing you can do is honor that and honor those wishes and allow her to live on through you, because I'm sure she's made so many impressions on you. I'm sure she's impacted your life and changed your life in so many different ways. And you are living proof of her life, you know. You're living proof of her impact. You're living proof of everything that she was and continues to be, because death isn't an end. Death is a transition, you know. It's like we go from spirit to physical back to spirit, and, you know, she's very much present, and she's present in a way that she wasn't even able to be present while she was in a physical body. So So I would definitely urge you to allow space for her to continue to be present in your life. And I'm sure she's always trying to communicate to you. She's always right next to you, always in your life in a way through you. And you can see her through the ways you show up. And as you continue to honor her, you'll feel that presence. And she's always with you, man. And I hope that you feel her with you through this message as I'm talking to you right now. She's definitely here, and she's always present, and she wants you to live the best life you can. And if that means being angry right now, be angry, but set the intention to allow the energy to move, and at some point to, dust yourself off and to continue living a beautiful life, and to continue to honor her and add to her legacy through your own. Do the things she would love to do, and in that feel close to her. If you're someone who's creative, create things in her name, dedicate things to her, and add to her legacy, and share the things she taught you through the things you make, and share it with other people, and the impact that you have. And understand that you're adding to her legacy, and that she's here adding to you, and you're both adding to her legacy. And allow yourself to keep loving, whether that be another person whenever you're ready, or just loving yourself, and loving yourself the way she used to love you. There's so many different ways. The best thing I would just say is to just continue to honor her, continue to honor yourself, and allow her to continue to live through you, and add to her legacy through you, man. And I'm being really called to say I'm proud of you, and for holding space for your anger, and holding space for your emotions, and not suppressing them, and not forcing yourself to be anything other than who you are at any given turn, because you deserve that, honestly. And thank you for sharing, and thank you for allowing me to hold space and reflect some of the energy to you. And I love you, honestly, and I'm really, really grateful. And you came in at a great time as we were wrapping up this collective reading, and this just feels like a very important moment, and it means a lot to me to be a part of it. So thank you, and I hope that my words were able to help a little bit, and I hope that, you feel loved through me and through this collective, through the energy. And I love you. I really, really do. And hey, whoever you have to be in any given moment is valid and deserves to be honored. So don't feel like you have to force yourself to feel anything other than what you feel, because your authenticity leads you to everywhere you need to go. So just continue to be you as only you can be you. And I love you. Hey Haley, welcome to the party. And you're welcome, man. You're so welcome. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to even be able to express that to you, man. And that takes so much courage to even share that. Like, you just came in, maybe a room full of strangers, and you put your heart out there and you just expressed yourself. And kudos to that, because that's no small thing. And I'm proud of you. And that takes such strength and boldness and courage, and just on that alone, I know that you'll be okay, and that everything will work out exactly how it's supposed to, and it already is. So I hope you're proud of yourself, and I hope you give yourself as much credit as you deserve, because you deserve it all, honestly. So that being said, that was Monday Magic, y'all, and this was amazing. And man, these Mondays continue to be way more than I anticipate, way more than I could ever ask for or anything. And I'm just so grateful, and more grateful by the week. And I'm grateful for all of you, familiar faces, new faces alike, everybody. And I hope y'all continue to show up and stick around. And oh man, this kid just fell off his bike. Oh man, it's okay. Y'all send him some love for me. I'm sending him lots of love. He's getting up though. He's gonna get back on. And that's the reality situation, Things happen, mistakes happen. And, you get back up and you keep riding. You don't just throw the bike away. You don't go put it up and never ride again, because at the end of the day, it's all leading you in the same place. And hey, that's where we are right now. Every day is not easy. And sometimes we fall into the things that we've outgrown, the things that don't work for us. And sometimes it hurts. Sometimes life hurts. But we allow it to add to our arsenal of weapons, our arsenal of tools and experiences that allow us to build on it. And look, he's right back to riding. He's smiling again, and he had well, it looks like his big brother was with him. His big brother didn't overly like, oh my God, are you okay? He kind of rolled over and kind of looked at him. He looked at his elbow and was like, and then they got up and they got back to riding. He's looking, they're smiling, they're having a good time, and they're back to what they were doing. And it's like, life is that same way. It's like, it doesn't have to be any bigger than that. Once you fall, allow yourself to get up when you can, take your break, brush it off, address your wounds. Hey, even if you have to feel sorry for yourself for a little bit, do that. But understand that, do it with the intention to get back on that bike and keep going. And understand that it doesn't have to be anything bigger than that. So yeah, man, this has all been beautiful. And like I said, I couldn't make any of this up. And the energy is the energy. And it's an honor to be able to sit here and reflect it and express it and to work with it and navigate it for us and for you all. So yeah, that's been Monday Magic. I'm Mark. This has been Tree Baby. She's been holding it down and holding the space and holding the energy and just all that. And I'm just so grateful for it all. I'm grateful for the tools we use today, the cards. I'm grateful for you all because you all influence the energy, and it really takes all of us in equal part, and there is no separation. So I hope you guys thank yourselves at the end of these readings as well. As great as it is and as great as the job as I do, like, it takes everybody. So yeah, I'm Mark. I've been your reader. This has been Monday Magic, and I was gonna say I hope it's been everything I told you it would be when I told you you were in store for great things. But I know it has been, because there's no separation and it's been exactly what it's supposed to be. W Stream, thank you. Awesome session. Hell yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you and you adding to the energy and amplifying the energy throughout the session. Like, it's been really nice. And it means a lot to me that the chat worked today, because without the chat today, none of this would be possible. But I understand that it worked today because it needed to work today so we could have this experience and just the whole thing. There's no separation, man. If you don't remember anything else, remember that. Like, we're all connected, and we're all connected to everything, and everything's everything, as we said earlier. So make sure you do all the things. Follow, like, subscribe, share with somebody. Share your favorite part. Play your favorite part for someone. Yeah, just do all the things. And if you're not already on Patreon, in our Patreon community, definitely meet me over there. The Amani community, which is Swahili for peace, which is my middle name. And yeah, over there is where we're at between Mondays, where we're doing the work, where we're embodying all the things we talk about. There's journal with me's. We do some journaling over there. We do meditating over there. Anything I come across that I feel adds to the spiritual work and adds to my frequency and keeps my mind going, I go and share it there. Sunday Shadows, which is our collective reading, which is like our Sunday shadow work equivalent to Monday Magic, which we do on Sundays, which we haven't done in 3 weeks. I'm setting the intention again to get back to it this week, but I don't know. It's like by the time I get to Sunday, it's like the energy is taking its own life. And you know me, I'm going to embody authenticity and follow the energy. So I'm setting the intention again to make it happen this weekend. But if it doesn't, know that it just wasn't supposed to. And I'm going to honor that. So yeah, meet me on the Patreon. There's so much magic there. And as it continues to grow, there'll be more magic and there'll be more things and more offerings. But we're there every day. And if you vibe with this, you'll vibe with the Patreon. And right now it's set up as you get a free 7-day trial for signing up of the Rock tier, which is our one subscription tier that's there right now. So you get a full 7 days to get full access to everything. And even if you just come for the 7 days and just take advantage of everything that's been there, it's been like over a month since I launched it. So it's going to be 2 months soon, actually. So yeah, you'll be able to access all that. So even if you just take advantage of everything and then leave, hey, that's okay too. Just take it as a thank you for sitting in here, especially this whole session, and continuing to support Monday Magic and support me and my divine work. So yeah, the Patreon is patreon.com/5D just too easy. And like I said, you get a free week trial, so there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. And like I said, if you vibe with me, you'll definitely vibe with the Patreon. That being said, also check out my music. I release music as KK the Artist. I have a few new songs that I'm working on releasing very, very soon, and new things I'm creating all the time. So wherever you listen to music, I'm already there. And that's just another medium for me to do the same work, to move the same energy, to alchemize, to transmute, to educate. So like I said, I'm just me authentically everywhere. So if you vibe with me here, you'll vibe with all that stuff, because it's just me in different locations and different forms. So that being said, this has been Monday Magic. Once again, I'm Mark, and I love you so much. And make sure you go have a great rest of your day on purpose, because yeah, it's your world, and you always have a choice at the end of the day. And like we navigated through all these energies, you are at the center of your universe, and you have the ability to shape your reality with your will and through your knowings and through your intentions. So do that and take back the wheel, take back your seat on the throne, and allow yourself to be the center of your universe, because you are. So I love you, and I'll see y'all around. I'll see you soon. If you guys do make it over to the Patreon, hey, I'll see you very soon. And if not, hey, I'll see you next Monday, and that's okay too. Whatever feels right and whatever resonates with you. But I love you, and I'll see y'all around, man. Hey, peace and yeah, love. I'll see y'all later, dogs. Great job today. I'm very proud of y'all. See you later.